Ladies and gentlemen, and still your WBC heavyweight silver international champion Nathan Gorman. Thank you for tuning in. This is the RT Boxing Show. I'm your host, Mr.A. Let's ready talk boxing. Nathan Gorman defeats Razvan Cojanu. Now, this was a nice, interesting fight for considering the way it happened. Nathan's opponent pulling out, and Razvan opponent pulling out, so that hey, our fights got fucked up. Let's fight each other. This fight had a lot of good in both. Obviously, Nathan Gorman is being looked at as that fast track young prospect fight with Daniel Dubois. And this is a nice fight, and everyone's going to, look at their last fights. And Daniel Dubois' last fight, he had a veteran in Kevin Johnson. Gorman was going to fight a veteran in Alex Leopold, but he ends up fighting Cojanu, who's still, I guess, fighting top notch. He just fought Luis Ortiz, fought Joseph Parker. And it was good to see, because Cojanu normally doesn't come to fight. He's a space filler. He knows how to eat up time in the fight. They say he done elite amount of sparring with the top notch, and that's what he looks like. He looked like he adapted that sparring style. I go into a heavyweight fight, I know how to survive, I get paid. This fight, he did throw some combinations at Gorman. He was able to hit. His body shot was working. Like I said, you got to see Gorman get a fight back. Someone who fought back on Gorman. That's why I say out of tests. I guess when you get fights that are supposed to test your career, this is what those fights are supposed to be. They've been saying, they were talking about Nathan Gorman, how he fought the big sexy guy. He fought just now he fought Razvan. So that's two tests he's been getting. Well, you can't really say Danny Dubois is getting tests. It's Michael Conlan getting tests. You see these prospects. You can say they're young, but are they getting gradually tested? Are they just beating the same guy over and over and over? And you can see Nathan Gorman is getting something. This was a good test on it. Surprisingly, like I said, you saw what Gorman has good is his hand speed and feet work. He was able to, for the heavyweights, he did start off fast, and really, like I said, he won all the rounds. Whether it's because he earned them with just dominant hand speed and feet work, or Razvan wasn't really not active enough to win rounds. We're going to lean with definitely what Gorman did enough to win those rounds, even though he gassed a little bit in the later rounds, in the mid rounds. But the first rounds, the first 4 rounds, he came on pretty strong, using his hand speed and foot speed that he does have for a big man. Even though he was the smaller man in this fight, Razvan had the jab, had the reach advantage, so he used the jab, was able to get good body work. Since, the bigger man was able to hold. He kept getting Nathan Gorman in a bad headlock and turning his back on him. He'd grab him in a headlock, then walk away, kind of back turn. Ricky Hatton like, hey, man. And I was, as a fan, I was like, dude, this fool needs to follow him. Call the ref really ain't calling break. The ref was not calling break. So he'll get Gorman in the headlock. For those who did not see the fight, but those who did, you know what I'm talking about. When he got him in the headlock, kind of like he's gonna ram his head into the turnbuckle. He'll kind of grab his head like that and then just kind of walk away and let go. I was like, dude, Gorman needs to follow him and fucking hook him. Hook him right in his fucking temple. If the referee, because the referee never said break, and Hatton even said it. He goes, hey, next time he gets you in the headlock and he walks away with his back turned to you, follow him and hook him. I'm like, fuck yeah, Hatton. And Hatton was that little crazy dirty mother. Not dirty, but you know what I mean. Hatton didn't give a fuck. You do shit like that with Hatton, Hatton's going to stop you from headlocking his ass. So it's like Gorman started off, showed his hand speed, his foot, and he was able to fire off rapid combinations. But you saw how a big man in Razvan was able to trouble him with a good jab, some good body work. It makes you wonder how the next level will give Gorman problems. Like I said, he did gas out a little bit, but since a guy who wasn't as active, Razvan couldn't take advantage of those opportunities. Gorman didn't gas out where he couldn't completely be offensive minded, but his fast start definitely was not that same performance in the first half of the fight was not the same output in the second half of the fight for Gorman. Definitely, I get it, two halves of a fight, but it wasn't a dominating Gordon that he started off with. Like I said, he took some hooks, took some jabs, if anything, he ate a lot of body work. Not a lot, but if there's one thing you can definitely take away from this fight is he was getting jabbed, but Razvan was doing some good body shots on him. But like I said, in the outcome, in the end of it all, Nathan Gorman took a good test, took some good shots, learned a thing or two, maybe some defense that he should correct. Took a punch from a bigger man, work his range from how to get into a jab on a longer man. So good learning process. He maybe learn how to pace himself here and there, but Nathan Gorman gets a nice defeat against Razvan Cojanu and retains, like we started this show, and still your WBC heavyweight silver international champion, Nathan Gorman.